Everybody, this is Carson Cardoza. This is my final project right here. This is the blackjack game. Alright, so over to my code. I tried to clean it up as much as possible. You could see up here in the features, betting money, which is like the gambling aspect that I talked about. The easy restart, which is after the normal mode, you can easily restart it. The survival mode slash battle royale. I put battle royale in the beginning because I originally wanted it to be like see how many rounds you could last, sort of. But that got really long and tedious and kind of boring actually. So I ended up going with having an actual goal of reaching 1,000, and I feel like that was a lot more fun to play around with. And I must have just never changed this. I think a more appropriate name will be challenge mode. I'll actually write that in right now. Challenge mode. Okay. Dealer stops at 17. That's just a personal preference, because like at real casinos and stuff, they typically stop at 17, at least the ones I've been to. And then 1-to-1 wins, so that's normally what you would have at a casino. Whenever you win, you essentially double your money. But whenever you get a blackjack, sorry, my headphones just died. Whenever you get a blackjack, though, it pays out 3-to-2, so it's 1.5 times whatever your payout would have been. And then V2.5, because after I sort of changed it over from survival mode to challenge mode, I think I put like 1.5 or something, and then I had a couple other features that I ended up just scrapping, and then I changed it to 2.5 or whatever. I know in the like the notes, he recommended, Professor Rebold recommended that we kept track of our versions. So I tried. I'm not entirely sure how often you're actually supposed to change the version number. So I tried my best. So I put 2.5. Anyway, so down here, I'll try to go through this as fast as reasonably possible because I can see the video's already like 6 minutes. Up here there's int rounds, which is how I keep track of how many rounds it takes you to reach 1,000 in the challenge mode. The bet is for betting, and like at the end of the round, where is it? Yeah, like if the bet is higher than the balance, I set it to ask again. Basically, if the person loses, it uses the bet to calculate. It calls it into this method, payout, that I made, and it basically I don't know if this is the most efficient way to do this, but to calculate the payouts, I made this method for calculating who the winner is, and it has all the, like, if the computer score is equal to 21 and then the player score is over 21, you bust and the dealer wins. This is what I used to calculate like the winning statements, and I basically just copied this and then added these in and set the return to total cash, and just sort of use this to calculate how much the person's getting from each thing. So like, let's say that same thing where it's a bust, the dealer wins. So this is basically like the mathematical representation of that, like their total cash, they lose how much they bet, basically. And same with, like, if it's a push, their money stays the same. If it's a loss, that's more of that. If it's a blackjack, they get 1.5, their bet multiplied by 1.5 added to their total cash. If it's just a normal win, they get bet added, because that's the payout, and then it just returns that. And where is that at? Yeah, and then I set balance equals payout with all the parameters there. The way I set up the challenge mode is essentially at the beginning, whenever they choose that they want to play it, they say yes. Where's the actual thing? Yeah, so they choose right here. Sorry, this is really long. It's just I don't like having a bunch of system.out.print. That might be better practice. I'm not sure, but I like to just basically do that where I have like, if I have a really sort of tall statement or really tall output, I'll make like each line of it, so like println, and then I'll put all the lines in, and then you could just replace this whole statement basically for each different like line of it or whatever with just a \n. That's just a new line. So basically it's like println this essentially, and then println this essentially, and println this. It's harder to look at, but it also kind of just gets out of my way, and I like it that way. I mean, once I've seen how it's gonna look once it's printed out, I could just put these \n's instead of having multiple system.out statements, and I just like how it looks better. That's just a personal thing. I don't think that's better practice or anything. It's just something that I do. Anyway, so yeah, so here's where it asks, like, this one is the one where it asks them, like, would you like to play challenge mode? And then it asks them, like, yeah, do you want to play it? And then if they say yes, it adds 1 to the round counter. And I have a counter set to my whole main method, where basically, if that rounds, I'll show you where specifically. So basically, okay. Yeah, so if rounds is greater than 0, it will give you a little readout of which round you're on, and then it'll add 1 to rounds. So if you choose to play the regular game, your rounds are, if you choose to play like the regular casual blackjack, your rounds will never increment. They'll just stay at 0, and that's sort of like the, what's it called? It's like an identifier, or there's a word for that. I forget what it's called. But yeah, so the game will just keep looping and looping, and it will never increment. It'll never accidentally turn into survival mode. But then if you're in survival mode, this counter will start ticking up every time, and it'll tell you which level you're on. So yeah, and then what else is there? What else should I explain? So I put this entire main, to make it repeatable, I put the entire thing into a do-while loop. I kind of like do-while loops. You'll notice there's a couple more in here. Gotta love do-while loops. They're pretty helpful. So I basically just tell it, ignore survival, because I don't want to ask people if they want to play survival every single round, and that also would include, that was my main issue with getting survival mode to repeat, because if you get survival mode to repeat with this one do-while loop, the entire survival thing gets messed up with the rounds plus. So I compromised, and I made it so that only the regular game repeats, and the survival mode, once you play it all the way through, you have to restart. I mean, I did a lot of touching up. I basically gave the whole program a facelift, except for down here. I mean, there's not really much to, that's just how I wrote it when the first time around, I think. I didn't really edit much there. So yeah, I believe that's it. I believe I went over the bets, I went over the easy restart, I went over the challenge mode, I went over, oh, dealer stops at 17. I can show you how I did that. So right here in the computer score, basically like the computer's turn, this is set to 16, and it says automatically starts at 16. I literally just changed that 17 and that 17. Hypothetically, if you were to change this to 22, you would just win every single time. So if you ever want to cheat on blackjack, just change that to 22, and you'll be really good at blackjack. Anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to add. I went over everything that, all my features, the easy restart, betting, special challenge mode. That's not even a feature, really, changing 17. I just wanted to mention it. And then this is just part of the betting. So here is the terminal. So I got a nice little title screen here. I didn't go too crazy. I wanted to put some some dice and some big cards, but it turned out to just be too big and it like stuck out too far. And I feel keeping it simple is better. And yeah, so I just went to this Big Bubba's Blackjack. I don't know. I just thought it sounded funny. I always name my starter Pokemon Big Bubba and Pokemon, so that's just a little fun fact. Anyway, so would you like to play the challenge survival mode? So this is what I was talking about in the code. It's you start with $100, you try to reach 1,000 in as few hands as possible without running out of money. That's like the lose condition, and the win condition is hitting 1,000. If you enter yes, you'll enter survival mode. No for casual blackjack. So I'm gonna start with the casual blackjack just to show you that. So it starts off by telling you your balance. If you do casual, you start with 1,000 because it's just meant to be kind of fun. You know, it's not real money, so who cares? So how much would you like to bet? I'm gonna go all in just for the sake of speeding up this example. I went ahead and I messed around with adding some like Unicode emoticons. They were a lot cooler in the IDE, but whenever I moved them over to Blue Jay, they kind of, I don't know, like I kept getting these question marks. I decided to keep this one because it looks kind of like a little, like part of his glasses. I hope you guys see that. And so this little dude represents the dealer. This little dude represents you, the player. And if you use this code on another ID, I think the emoticons will kind of work out better. For some reason, they just don't want to work in Blue Jay, and I'm not sure what causes that. So, thank you. We will begin the game for 1,000 because it shows 1,000. Dealer pulls the first card. In the default game, it doesn't do that. It goes your turn and then the dealer's turn. But in the real game, I like how the dealer puts down one card, and it kind of gives you an idea of like, okay, so he's got like a 9 or he's got like a 10. I need to be careful or whatever, you know. And I liked that, so I decided to add that to the game. So the dealer pulls a king of clubs. So my turn. My score is 5. Do I want to hit or stand? Well, I'm gonna hit. I'm not gonna stay at 5. Dealing your hand. So now I got 8. I'm gonna hit again. 18. Okay, I'm gonna stand. That's a good number. Dealer scores 20. Dealer wins. Darn. Okay. So yeah. So the dealer got the king of clubs. He got the 10 of diamonds. He passed his condition of 17, so he stops. He hits 20, and he wins. Do you want to play another hand? So I believe I just played all of my money. So if I choose yes, I have no more money. So we see that your current balance is 0. We would like to give you a complimentary $100 to continue playing. So I added this condition because, you know, if somebody's just having fun playing the game, I don't want them to have to restart or whatever. There's no point. So you might as well, you know, give them another $100 to keep playing. Because, you know, having to restart just because you ran out of money, that's lame. It's not real money. So just give them more. I could have given them an extra 1,000, but then it kind of loses the purpose. They'll just start wasting 1,000 at a time, you know. So you give them 100. It's like maybe next time be more careful, you know. That's my thought process. So anyway, how much would you like to bet? So I'll just play again. Let's see. Dealer pulls first card, 4 of clubs. Your turn. Dealing your hand 2 of clubs. My score is 2. I'm gonna hit. 2 is nothing. 12. I'll hit again. I got a blackjack. and the dealer got 17. So I got 1.5 times payout. I don't know if I mentioned that in the code section. So I actually made the payouts 1 to 1 for a regular win, and 3 to 2 for blackjack, just like at a real casino. And the way that I did that, I just made sure that the balance, which is used to calculate your money, and the bet values were doubles, and then I just multiplied the bet if you win with the blackjack times 1.5 and added it to the balance. And yeah, it was pretty simple. So let's say I want to exit the game, and it says thank you for playing Big Bubba's Blackjack, come again. So let's head on over to my code, and I can show, oh wait, I didn't do survival mode yet, did I? Okay, let's restart this. So let me open up survival mode. Or not open up survival mode. Let me just restart this so we can open up survival mode. Okay, so same screen. Would you like to play survival mode? Let's choose yes this time. So now I start with only 100. What would you like to bet? I'll do 100. Why not? Dealer pulls first card. He has a 7. I have an 8. 8 is no bueno. I got 14. I'll hit again. I got 18. I'm gonna stand. Okay. Your score 18. The dealer got a blackjack. Dang it. Okay. And then down here, so since I lost on the first round and I lost all my money, it says survival level 1. That's how many hands it takes, basically. It'll print that out every iteration so that you know how many hands it's taken for, if you're like trying to win, it'll tell you how many hands have passed in that amount of time. And so yeah, so my balance is 0, game over. You failed after 2 rounds. And now that I think about it, actually, that's not supposed to say 2. I believe that is because of something that I could actually fix right now. Okay, so I've gone ahead and fixed that. So now you can see, would you like to play the challenge survival mode? Yes. How much would you like to bet? Let's do all of it. And let's just intentionally bust. And you can see it's a push. Oh, so I didn't lose. Okay, hold on. Let's try again. Okay, so here we go. You failed after 2 rounds. The counter is fixed. It was a small issue. It's all good now. So anyway, back to the code. So anyway, thank you very much for looking at my project. I hope you like it. I really had fun with this project, and it really makes me want to make more stuff like this. Yeah, anyway, take it easy. I hope you all did great on your finals, by the way. Finals were pretty crazy, so yeah. I'll shut up. Peace out.